You know, it is a beautiful day, and we do always want to remember and honor the mothers, you know, and so I always say that, you know, we have to really honor our mother, all mothers, right? Because it is a journey. It is a journey to mother a child, to give birth. You know, so first you have to, like, carry the child, right? Then you have to deliver the child. Then you have to nurture the child. And then you have to run after the child, you know? And then, you know, you have to watch them grow, and then you have to put up with the child, okay? Because now they've got a mind of their own, and they know everything. And then, at some point, you have to let them go. So it's a true journey, right? So I honor you all. You know, I bless you all this morning. I honor you. I honor you for your courage, you know, your commitment, and for, you know, that dedication, and for your strength. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in this room. And so today the topic is not so much about being the mother and birthing your child, but it's about birthing a dream. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about, well, actually I want you guys all to do something first. So I want you to all turn to the person next to you or behind you or around you and just say, I am pregnant. I am pregnant. I know it feels kind of weird, especially for the guys, right? To say, I am pregnant, but it is true. You are pregnant with ideas. You are pregnant with possibility, right? You are pregnant with pure potential. You know, we have been created in the likeness and the image of God. So as that, we have been created in that image, that we are creators. We are the creators of our own life. Right? So when we look at history and we look way, way back, we can say, okay, well, you know, do you guys remember studying about the, you know, the Industrial Revolution, you know, the days of the railroad? You know, just looking back in my life, I can see, I mean, I remember, and I don't want to tell anybody how old I am, but I remember the first TV, black and white, right? And then we had the color TV, and then we had the microwave, and then we had the so on and so on and so on. I can go on and definitely naming the things that have been created. And where did those things come from? Those things came from a single thought, right? They came from an idea. They came from an idea that was then nurtured, and then it was birthed into the world, into the universe, by the law that we call God, by that law that is always saying yes, that law that always answers, good, bad, or indifferent. It's going to answer to what you have, what you want, what your deepest desire is. So what is your deepest desire? What is it that you are seeking? What is it that you feel deep down inside of you? And sometimes we talk about things, and we talk about things like, you know, all this innovation, because it's the easiest thing to see, as we can see the growth of that, right? We can see how it affected our children's lives, we can see how it affected our lives, we can see how it's changed the world. But it's not necessarily about things. You know, it's very much about who we are as individuals. It's very much about recognizing at our deepest level that creative being that we are, and the way that we can demonstrate in our life the good that we see, that we deserve, that we know that is already ours. So how do we do that? So when we look at all these things that have been created and all those brilliant people who created these things, so what is the difference between them and you? Not any difference, right? There's no difference. There's no difference between them and you. It is just how we think. You know, so we always say, you know, the little choo-choo train that said, I know I can, I know I can, I know I can. So if you think you can, then you can. You know, you can succeed, you can be it. And not necessarily, again, talking about those things, but you can evolve to be the greatest you, to be the greatest light, as Renee said, to illuminate in this world, to be one with everyone, because that's who you really are. That's your true nature. That's who you are, whether you recognize it or not. So what is that gift? You know, we can talk about, what is that next gift? It could be that book you want to write. It could be, you know, the song you want to sing. It could be the love you want to find. Or it could be just finding the eternal love that you know you already are. And just being that true love to yourself, right? So I think it's really important that we plant the seed. And so we plant the seed in our mind, just like a seed is planted in a woman's womb. And we nurture it, and then we birth it, and we let it be. And so there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about as far as some of those things that get in the way. Some of those things that get in the way of us being that creative being that we know we are, right? And so let me ask you, by a show of hands, how many people in this room are busy? You know? Okay, so we're busy, right? So we get all caught up in the busyness. So we're busy doing this, we're busy doing that, and we're busy doing, you know, all these things. Oh my God, you guys know me, I'm very busy. So, you know, studies have shown that from our busyness and our busy life, that only 80% of that is truly effective. So, I mean, ineffective. That 80% of that is ineffective. Okay, so 80% of that is really where we're spending a lot of energy and we have a lot of chatter going on in the mind and we're running around and we're doing things, where that other 20% is really the amount of time that we spend doing what we truly love to do, doing what we're passionate for, doing what drives us, doing what inspires us. So what do you think life would be like if you switched those? Mm-hmm. And 80% of your time, you're doing everything you just love to do. And then that other 20% of time, you're just taking care of those tasks. You know, doing those things that you need to do to get by. You know, paying bills, going, you know, buying groceries, you know, doing that kind of stuff. So would your life be different then? A little bit, right? So sometimes I think that we get so caught up in the busyness that we substitute opportunity to be creative and to create what we really want to do for the busyness, right? So how do we do that? How do we create the time? You know, I always talk about the chatter in the head, you know, the chatter in the mind. So how do we quiet that? You know, I do it through meditation. You know, I try to meditate and be one with myself. I try to dig deep inside myself so I can connect to the truth of who I am. And those are when the best ideas come up. And so let me ask you this. So how many people have had great ideas in the shower? Okay, right? Okay. Why do you think that happens? It happens because when you're in the shower, you're not really thinking about anything else but taking a shower. There's nothing in there, you know, the mind is clear. So in those moments of quietness, in those moments is when the clarity comes. That's when we can really hear the idea. And we come out and say, hey, you know, I had a great idea. You know, I had a great idea, and guess when I got it? And I got it when I was in the shower, or when I was in the bathroom, or something. You know, people say some strange things like that. But that's when it happens, because you're not filled with everything else and with the busyness of life. And so another thing that I think that happens sometimes, maybe to some of you, maybe not, sometimes it happens to me, that gets in the way of me being creative is what you think about yourself. And so if there's times that you have a great idea and you say, I have a great idea. And the chatter in your mind starts and it's like, well, yeah, it's a great idea, but you know it's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. You don't have any experience in that. You know that you never really studied that field. So maybe, you start talking yourself out of it, right? You start talking yourself out of it, you start talking yourself out of it. And so then before you know it, that idea has just kind of, turned into nothing. It's just went away. And then you hear somebody talking and you say, oh, hey, I had an idea once. The other thing that happens, is that we have an idea, we have this great idea, and we go and we share it with a friend. Okay? Hey, Susie, I have this great idea. I want to start this business. I think I'm going to sell t-shirts. You know, Susie looks at you and she says, hey, that's a great idea. But you know, SB, you've never really been good at the numbers. Yeah. You know, you've never really been that business type personality, right? And so then we kind of take that message that's being given to us and we kind of embody it, right? We believe it. We believe what somebody else is saying about us. So now we're kind of in that place of not having any faith in ourselves, and now we're living life through the belief of another person, through the belief that what that person believes about us. You know, so we don't have that faith and that trust in ourselves, so we're looking to others, you know, to give us that, to tell us who we are. And you really can't ride that wave, you know, you can't ride that wave on somebody else's thought about you. Mm-hmm. You know, because it just doesn't work that way. You know, you might have a great thought about me, but I can't be what you want me to be or what you say I am. I can't be that. I can only be who I am. I can only ride my own wave. And I know that if I ride my own wave and I believe in myself and I trust in myself, that only then will I have the ability to create that which I desire, or my deepest desire. I'll give you another example which really happened. It just happened a few days ago, and I think it's just really interesting how it happened because I thought about it and I thought, this is kind of going that whole way of what I wanted to talk about. So about, I don't know, last Sunday I came home from a trip and I wasn't feeling very well. And so I ended up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in bed. I was just really sick. And my husband came home from work and I'm laying there in bed and I got this computer next to me, you know, just doing stuff on the computer. And he says, what are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm just, you know, putting a few notes together because I want to get ready for this talk on Sunday, okay? And he says, you know, honey, I just think you take on too much. You know, you work all the time, you go to school, you know, you do this, you volunteer for that, you know, and then you're doing this thing at the church. It's just too much. And I thought about it and I thought, okay, I have two choices here. I can say yes, it's too much. And I can accept what he's saying and believe what he's thinking about me, right? But I chose not to go there because instead, I looked at him and I said, you know, honey, I really appreciate that you're very concerned about me, and I know I haven't been feeling good. But you know what? I love what I do. You know, I love this. You know, I love being with all of you. I love all of you. I love being an expression of God in this very moment. You know, I love living my dream. I'm riding my own wave right now. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm living my dream, right? I love it. So I don't see it as another thing. I don't see it as a task. I don't feel it as a task. You know, I don't feel it as work. And I was thinking about this a lot because I was thinking about that 80%, you know, that where we're doing things that are ineffective. And so I was thinking about what do I do, and I was thinking about this talk, and I was thinking about this situation, and I thought to myself, I don't know if 80% of the time I'm doing what I really want or desire, but I know I'm up there. You know, I'm up there in that percent. And I'll tell you, because what I do, as crazy as I drive myself and I'm, you know, constantly everywhere, I love the people that I work with. I love the patients that we serve. I love providing education to them. I love creating a moment where they can have an aha moment. You know, I love being here with all of you. And so it's just amazing, you know, where we find the balance and how do we get there. You know, I have something here. Glasses. I have glasses. I have something here that I pulled out of one of Ernest Holmes' books, in The Art of Life, and he says, when we turn to the teachings of Jesus, which I thought was interesting because you did that too. When we turn to the teachings of Jesus, we find them to be simple, direct, and understandable. Jesus said, I have come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. So Jesus was always talking about the more abundant life, the greater happiness, the deeper peace. He told us that we can rest secure in the love of God, that the power of God is always at our command. And so we talk about, that what's in our mind, what is our thoughts? Well, our thoughts become things, right? And so as we put this thought in our mind, we know that God is always saying yes. And we know that that's going to demonstrate through the law for us. And it's stated here, not only from Jesus, but I also saw in another book from Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind that he said the possibilities of the law are infinite. And our possibilities of using it are limitless. So what does that mean? That we're always open at the top, right? So there is no limit. So the only limitations that we put on ourselves, whether it's, success, whether it's love, whether it's family, whether it's joy, whether it's peace, whatever it is, it's a limitation that we put on ourselves. It's not the limitation that someone else is putting on us or that actually exists. It only exists if you think it exists in here. So, we change our thoughts, we change our life, right? And so I know that some of you may have in the past tried certain things, and maybe you've done certain things, and you're thinking right now, well, yeah, I tried that, but it didn't work. It didn't happen. That's okay. We talk about how our life evolves, how our life, we're constantly growing. We're growing in our life, we're maturing, we're becoming emotionally intelligent. We're growing in consciousness, right? So if you tried something and it worked maybe a little bit, so maybe it got you from here to here, And so then you continue to grow, and as you continue to grow in consciousness, now maybe you're over here, And so as each time, we can ooch our way to what our biggest desire and our biggest, what excites us. And where we want to see ourselves. We don't have to go from A to Z. It's okay to go from here to here, from here to here, and from here to here. So we can only demonstrate in our life to the level that we can actually visualize. So if we only visualize ourselves here, we can only see ourselves here, then this is as far as we're going to get. But it gives you an opportunity to grow in consciousness, right? To practice that. So everything I feel in life has been a stepping stone. Everything in life has been a stepping stone to get us to where we are today. So I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 20 or 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, however old you are. I think that today we are here because there is something inside of us that is waiting to be birthed. Whether it's a new idea, a new book, a new story, a new love. If it's peace in our life, if it's, it could be anything. And it's waiting to be birthed. Now turn to the person next to you and say, hold on, the baby is coming. Don't leave me now, that baby is coming. Because it is. It is coming. And, I ask you to maybe think about it. And, I heard Michael Beckwith say, not too long ago, I was watching an Oprah show, and he was saying, he was asked a question. He was asked, what is the difference between prayer and meditation? And I thought this was so profound, right? So he says, prayer is when I'm talking to God, and then meditation is when I'm listening. Okay, and I thought that was so important and so relevant, because when we talk about stopping the chatter in the mind, right? To give us that opportunity to be creative, to give us that time. It takes time to be creative. You can't do it if you're all full of the clutter. So you have to take the time to be creative. And so think about it, it takes more than a moment. And so I really like what he said, and I also thought it was kind of funny because I thought, okay, well, when you're praying and you're going to ask God, hey dude, man, I've been wanting to write that book, what's happening? And, some people can pray that way, and, I don't know what would come out of it, but, Michael Beckwith also said that instead of asking what Spirit can do for us, that maybe we want to ask, what is that is trying to emerge through me in this very moment? What is my gift? You know, why am I here? And so I think it's really, really important, you know, and when you ask that question, it is important to listen. You know, one of the biggest challenges, I think, for us as humans, especially in this busy world that we live in, is to really quiet our minds and to listen. But I think it's such a gift. It's such a gift because each person in this room is a gift. Every idea is a gift. You know, every moment is a gift. And it's important that we embrace that and we love that. And so I saw this quote by Joseph Campbell, so I'm going to do a reading, but I wanted to read this quote, which was really interesting to me too. Joseph Campbell, and he wrote, "We must be willing to let go of the life we planned so as to have a life that is waiting for us." And I really like that because, you know, I think that for me, you know, growing up, I had certain ideas and certain things that I had planned in my life, and they weren't necessarily things that I planned because, now that I think about it, they're not things that I necessarily planned because it really was the direction that I wanted to go in, but it was what I felt was accepted by society. This is what was expected of me, so I made these plans accordingly. You know, I'm going to grow up, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to get married, I'm going to have children, I'm going to have that White House or Yellow House with the white picket fence, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So those are the plans that I think he's talking about here. You know, those are great plans if that's what you want, but sometimes we make those plans because, again, we're living off of somebody else's wave, right? We're not really living out of our true self and our true thoughts and our true being. You know, there's a truthness within us, and if we just tap into that, we will know immediately. And the more, you know, I don't know how many of you were here for Renee's meditation. I thought it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful to be able to come out of that feeling so illuminated, you know, and not because of anything else, but just because of who you are. Just knowing yourself. It was illuminating, you know, to be in that moment, to recognize that, and to be it. It was awesome. And so I leave you with this. This is a reading from Eckhart Tolle in this book called The Oneness with All Life. So your life has an inner purpose and an outer purpose. Inner purpose concerns being and is primary. Outer purpose concerns doing and is secondary. The true or primary purpose of your life cannot be found on the outer level. It does not concern what you do, but what you are. That is to say, your state of consciousness. Action, although necessary, is only a secondary factor in manifesting our external reality. The primary factor in creation is consciousness. No matter how active we are, how much effort we make, our state of consciousness creates our world. And if there is no change on the inner level, no amount of action will make any difference. We would only recreate modified versions of the same world again and again, a world that is an external reflection of the ego. Thank you. So I'd like to go into our spiritual mind treatment, and if I could please ask the practitioners to make a circle around the sanctuary, that would be awesome. And so I just welcome you in this very moment, if you feel comfortable, to just close your eyes and just embrace this very moment. Embrace that truth, that knowingness, that oneness, all of life that is what I call God. Understanding and feeling that and recognizing that unification between you and the great everything. And how wonderful it is to know in this very moment that we are created in the likeness of God. And therefore those gifts that God has bestowed upon us include the gift of creativity. We are creators of our own life. And how wonderful it is to know that. And to know that as we move forward, we ride the wave of our own dream. We birth that dream. We love it, we nurture it. We watch it unfold. And I know that for each and every one of you in this room, that dream is perfect. I know that dream is exactly as you envision it. And I am so grateful for this very moment that I can say with complete trust and complete conviction that I know that that is so. And so in this wonderful day, as we celebrate all mothers everywhere, in every state, in every country, we know that mothers bring this very, very special love to each child, to each individual. And I know that the love of that mother is indispensable. But I know too that that love of that mother is instilled within you, because that love is that unconditional love of God. And so I bless you each in this moment with that gift of unconditional love, because I accept it for each and every one of you in this very moment, because I know it is the truth of your being. And so I just bless this day, just knowing that it is good. The proceedings of this day are good. I know that it unfolds in perfection, and I'm just really excited to see it. I'm really excited to be able to witness it and to also express it within my own life. And so I just release my word into that universal law, just knowing that it is already done. And together we say,
so it is.